Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, on Saturday, there's a game between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish going on the road at the Syracuse Orange. Who do I think is going to win this game? Let's break it down. Now, Notre Dame is 4-3 to start this season, and they are struggling a little bit. Marcus Freeman first season as head coach, but they're still playing decent football at times, but at times they've played some poor football. But they in week 1 they lost at Ohio State 21-10. And this was a game that they tried to be competitive in, but Ohio State was the much better football team, and it was at Ohio State, and they could not get it done. Then they lost to Marshall 26-21, and this was a game that they probably should have won for sure. It was at home, and they were playing Marshall, but they could not get the win. So Notre Dame fans were panicking a little bit. But then they beat California 24-17, and that was a good bounce back win. And then they won at UNC 45-32. And winning at North Carolina is no easy feat this year, especially with North Carolina playing much better this season. And then they beat BYU on a neutral 28-20. This was a good win in Las Vegas, even though BYU is not as good of a football team this year. Still a good win for Notre Dame. But then they lost to Stanford 16-14 at home, and this was a game they should have beaten. Stanford, they should have won this game, but unfortunately for Notre Dame, they could not win. And then they beat UNLV 44-21, which UNLV is a really struggling football team this season. And in that game, quarterback Drew Pine had 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He had 30 rushing yards. Obviously, quarterback Tyler Buckner is out for the season with an injury, so Drew Pine, he has done well in his absence. He's probably not as good as Tyler Buckner, and Drew Pine is trying, and he does make mistakes and turn the ball over at times, but when he doesn't turn it over, he is a really solid quarterback. Running back Logan Diggs at 130 yards, and 130 yards for him is the most yards he's had all season, and Logan Diggs is really starting to emerge as one of Notre Dame's best offensive players, and he is a really good running back. They also have running back Chris Tyree at 43 yards and a touchdown. He's a good running back as well. They also have Audric Esteem at running back. So Notre Dame has 3 very solid tailbacks. Tight end Michael Mayer at 150 yards and a touchdown. He is Notre Dame's best NFL type player. He's going to be in the NFL. He's a great tight end, and they need to keep getting the ball to him. And on the defensive side of the ball, linebacker J.D. Bertrand at 5 tackles. The defensive lineman Howard Cross the third at 2 tackles for Notre Dame against UNLV. Notre Dame's defense is very talented, but they haven't played well on defense at times this season, but at times they play well, so they can clean the defensive issues up and combine that with a better offensive play down the stretch of the season. I think Notre Dame can really start to improve and win some games. Now on the Syracuse side, they've been a surprise team, and they are 6-1 this season with Dino Babers as head coach. And this is the best record that Syracuse has had in a long time. And they were 6-0, and they started out with a 31-7 win over Louisville in a game that a lot of people thought Louisville would win, and Syracuse destroyed Louisville, and that was a really good sign for their season. And then they won at UConn 48-14. That was a good win to go on the road and win at a group of 5 like that. And then they beat Purdue 32-29 in a game that could have gone Purdue's way. There were some bad calls in this game, but Syracuse got the win, and it was a very good win for Syracuse. And then they beat Virginia 22-20. In a game, obviously, Virginia's not as good this season, but they found a way to win. They beat Wagner 59-0. That was a good win. And then Syracuse beat NC State 24-9. And a lot of people hopped on the Syracuse train after this win, but quarterback Devin Leary for NC State was not healthy, and he's out for the season, and that did help Syracuse. But it was still a really good win. But then they lost at Clemson 27-21 in a game that they were winning the whole time until Clemson put their backup quarterback Cade Klubnik in for DJ Uiagalelei, and Syracuse ended up losing this game. But Syracuse is still having a fantastic season. And in that Clemson game, quarterback Garrett Schrader, the transfer from Mississippi State, 167 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, and he had 71 yards and a rushing touchdown. He is a dual-threat quarterback. Obviously, I think his running game is best served off of his passing game. I don't think he's the greatest passer in the world. His running game helps his throwing game, but I do think Garrett Schrader is a talented quarterback, and if he can start throwing the ball even better, then he will definitely help Syracuse win some more games because his running game from the quarterback position is fantastic. Running back Sean Tucker, 54 yards and 18 receiving yards and a touchdown. This guy's probably going to be in the NFL. He's a great running back, and Syracuse needs to give the ball to him more. Wide receiver Oronde Gass in the second, 86 yards, and wide receiver Damian Alford, 22 yards. Syracuse's passing attack has improved a lot since Garrett Schrader's taken over on the offense at quarterback, and obviously the best part of their offense is the run game, but Syracuse is improving in the passing game. And on the defense side of the ball, linebacker Mikael Jones has 7 tackles, and defensive back Jahad Carter 6 tackles and an interception for Syracuse against Clemson. And Syracuse's defense is much better than it used to be when they were giving up a lot more points. They are a little inconsistent at times, but their defense is much better than it used to be, and their offense has improved as well. So who do I think is going to win this game? Obviously, Syracuse is the surprise team here. Syracuse was a team that not a lot of people thought were going to be very good this season, but they're 6-1. This game is at Syracuse, and I think that's going to help Syracuse a lot because it is, like I said, when you have the home field advantage and Syracuse being in the dome, it makes a big difference for them. They are much better at home than on the road. But Notre Dame is still a very talented team, and I know Notre Dame has really struggled this season at 4-3. And Marcus Freeman, in his first season as head coach, has had to take some lumps at Notre Dame, and obviously Dino Babers as Syracuse rolling this season. But I think Notre Dame is still going to go on the road and beat Syracuse 28-24. I think Syracuse is a really good team. I think they've been a surprise team and a great story in college football this season. Their offense has improved, and their defense has improved as well, and I think they're playing much better football with Dino Babers at head coach. And I know this game is at Syracuse, and I know it's going to make a big difference, but Syracuse has played a schedule against a lot of teams that have struggled this season, and they found ways to win. And they finally lost to Clemson, and that could be a letdown spot after losing a big game like that they could have won. I think Syracuse is a really good team. They have a lot of talent, more now than they had in the past, but I think Notre Dame has the more talented team. They have been struggling this season, but I think Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame is going to find a way to go on the road at Syracuse and find a way to win. They need to win badly, but they have a lot of talent, and I don't know if Syracuse is going to be able to find a way to beat Notre Dame's talent. I think Syracuse can win this game, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame to win at Syracuse 28-24. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think Notre Dame or Syracuse is going to win this game and why, and I will see you next time.